Welcome to the Maturity Project. I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears. For those of you that came back and have seen these videos before or has followed the work, welcome back. For you that are new, 8 areas of maturity. I actually have it written on the main channel as well, so if you're interested in finding out what those are, by all means, please go and read them. So today's conversation is real quick and easy, pretty much. It's actually to get to where we can get back to saying details matter. Because they do. The details matter. Proof is in the pudding, right? It's Thanksgiving, right? Today's Thanksgiving. And it seems that we've fallen into this interesting trap where we seem to forget to be thankful. And we're forgetting to be thankful for a lot of things. We're really just looking for specific things in our life that we want to be grateful for and not giving the other things the credit that it deserves. So this idea really stemmed from how we have such we have a political, there's certain people that back a specific political party here in the United States that are saying that that they're out to ruin Thanksgiving if they found out that their family members had voted for President-elect Trump. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, we're forgetting some stuff here. Like, we're forgetting about what kind of privilege that we have, that we're afforded now because of our ancestors, all of our previous generations that have given us the point where we can actually go to a family gathering and intentionally, like, to have the privilege to try to ruin somebody's day simply because they disagree with you on something. It's fascinating to me that we've gotten to the point that we're lacking gratitude for what has got us to that point. Because I promise you, if you had the realization of all of the hardships and the sacrifices necessary to get to the point that you have that privilege would be exercised far less often. Because with the sacrifices that have come along also comes the recognition of other people's sacrifices so that we could all progress our families forward. Challenges are great. Like, we do want them. But just know that those types of outbursts have the potential of getting you removed from the will. Like, it could be that egregious of an insult to go and intentionally try to ruin a family dinner and a day that it's intended to be thankful that you're even family members or that you guys have been able to make it this far in your lives together. So just to be aware, ideologies pass like seasons. Now, for the people that are the ones receiving somebody in their family that's coming with the intention of really doing what they can to ruin the dinner or the day, is just keep in mind that love brings people home. Righteousness separates us and drives us apart. They're going to be, if they are that person that's coming to your family or to the family dinner, or coming to you for the day with the intent of ruining your day, they're coming in with righteousness. If you know that it's coming, then you can prep the family for receiving it so that you don't have that family member that just loses their crap. Now, I'm also, by the way, I'm not saying necessarily that losing your crap is bad. It's better to be responsible and also try to minimize, the influence that the people get to go through, because conflict has value as well, right? Conflict has the conflict resolution process. It's a challenge, right? That if you take on the challenge and navigate through it with the intent to be more mature than you were before, then you're going to make progress towards how to handle conflict in such a way that you become more capable of dealing with things. If you decide to take it on as if it's a battle and it's going to be this fight, you're going to strengthen your ability to defend yourself, but you may not be strengthening your ability to resolve the issue. Your resolve through that process would be more geared towards force. So just keep these things in mind. I'm not saying that anything you do today is right or wrong. That is one thing about the way this education works, is there's really not a lot of right or wrongs. Now, there are going to be right or wrongs that we can agree with that have been written into law because they're so acceptable amongst many people that it's wrong to do certain things, like to assault somebody. We can all agree it's not a good thing to go and assault somebody. So those things have been agreed upon by everybody, or at least enough people that it became a legal precedent. So, but there's other things, right? Like your ideology clashing with another person's ideology. These ideas are supposed to bump up against other ideas. That's how they create more validity because they defend themselves. You don't need to defend it, it needs to defend it. And if you don't have the tenets of your idea down enough that you don't need to try to use emotional bulldozing techniques in order to overcome the other person's position. And when you do that, by the way, one of the examples of an emotional bulldozing technique is using the ad hominem approach to an argument. By the way, debate has its own rules. It's been well formulated, and it gives you the logic behind what it's like to have a disagreement with a specific tactfulness that reduces some of the other elements. Like, if you call somebody some ad hominem, you attack their character, not the idea that they possess, but the person, some attribute about the person. You can damage that relationship because of the emotional hit, and it may be incredibly challenging or impossible to recover. Now, on the other side, the philosophy or the viewpoint that the person carries, when it's challenged, yeah, they're likely going to have an emotional reaction. But in debates, if you use ad hominems, you're actually losing points, or having points add up against you. They're not for you or supportive. The same thing as like a non sequitur is the changing subjects without connection, which means that you're likely finding your argument weak. Therefore, you're transitioning into another position that is not directly related or related at all. And it's trying to kind of run away from the topic, if you will. So those are non sequiturs. But again, the ad hominems where you attack the person, not the idea. For me, in this whole process, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, I just have the knowledge and I'm continuously working on strengthening it, maturing it, is there's a conversation between straw man and steel man. A straw man is the caricature of the person's argument. You build it up, and it could be a caricature that everyone or a lot of people agree with, but it's not actually the position the other person holds. So you build it up, and then you attack the caricature. You attack that thing that you said that they believe, or that you have alluded to them believing, and then anybody who witnesses it, they're finding that you're right in that, or at least that's the attempt to build a straw man, is that you want people to watch you beat this thing up and hope that they actually align with you. And your job is to try to get them to be convinced that that thing that you're projecting on the other person is in alignment with what they believe, so that the people that are watching it can believe that that is actually their position. So they can cheer you on, see you as the person they want to win the argument, if you will. Now, steel manning is what the mature people do. And this, again, I'm not perfect at this, but I find that it helps me connect with more compassion and less righteousness. Whenever, like, a steel man is where I work on the argument with the person to verify that truly is what they believe, and that we can do something with that knowledge. So we can say, hey, hey, baby. We can do something in the sense of saying, okay, well, from what I heard you say, I'm going to repeat back to you what I'm hearing you say and what you believe, and just correct me at any point in time that I may be off, that you want to expand a little bit more or more into, so that we can both agree that we both understand where you're at. And it's not with any ill intent. It is not with any malice. It's with the actual understanding of where they are. When you do that, you can see more of, you start to get the exposure of how they got to what they believe. You get an opportunity to get there, because you're like, okay, well, we didn't walk the same steps in life. We haven't made the same decisions in our mind second for second of our entirety of our life. We have different versions of reality that can be similar, seeming identical at times, or very different from each other. But you have the ability to step into those different positions. You can follow it and see that that person truly isn't your enemy. They have walked a different path, and that path has given them different realizations. And some of those things will have logical fallacies, and some of those will be emotionally led without any real value of logic to ground it. There's a lot of things there. And that's where we get into our position of righteousness. When you don't take this approach, you just say you're silly, and what you believe is wrong, and is wrong for these reasons. And if you try to use logic on somebody who's in the emotional body, it can be incredibly offensive and send them further into the emotional body and not bring them into a logical position. So it's all through the process of communication. If you go it righteously, you're not going to connect very well, and it's very unlikely that you're going to grow together. If you go through the logical approach, which is more of the steel manning, or is the steel manning approach, you're actually showing the person you give a damn to understand what they think, how they feel, and how they got there. And I can tell you from sitting at a table when people do this, or in the environment of people doing this, I feel so so connected, and so much endearment. I think it's endearment. I feel very connected and supportive of the person that is steel manning the other person, because it's a very honest way to have a conversation. So bring that to your dinner table, bring that to your day. I love you, and I want to understand where you're coming from. We are blood. We share blood. We have close, familiar relationships. You may be adopted, but you're my family. Whatever, you may be a best friend for the longest time, or you've been a family friend for the longest time. You're a best friend of one of my family members. Whatever it is, there's reason for you all to come together. Now let's create some thinks for each other. By the way, I'm thankful for the people that have created some of the hardest moments of my life. I've taken on a new position in this because it's so easy, and everybody will want you to be in a victim position, it seems, when you're dealing with a real hard time in your life that can directly be connected to another person's actions, or another person has fault in that. For me, I look at it this way. Not all angels show up with a celebration and a gift that makes you go, wow, I'm so happy that you're here. Sometimes it comes in and it represents some of the hardest experiences you've had, but the gift is the lesson they're giving you. So I have worked on that particular position with every Judas that I've had in my life. And I've had 3 professional Judases, which is Judas of the apostles, I'm sorry. But Judas, who betrayed Jesus, right? I've had 3 of those people in my business world, in my business life. And I've had 2 of them in my personal relationship and intimate life. It is some of the hardest things to experience, but I promise you, if you shift it and you view them as angels, but the angel brought a lesson, and the lesson was presented as a challenge, and it made you take a different perspective of yourself or your current circumstances. And that brought you to who you currently are. And I do everything I can to be as responsible for who I am. And I'm not perfect at it. Like I say in many videos, I'm failing up. I set my course to get where I'm going in my life. The ship is going. It's navigating the rough waters. And a lot of the roughness of the waters is because I had set the destination through some of the roughest stuff, because I didn't realize that I was my own problem. And that the way that I have made decisions in my life and the viewpoints that I've had along the way, creating the understanding of what I've gone through as my reality, has put me in some pretty rough waters at times. And those lessons wouldn't be so challenging had I not actually gone that direction. And I'm not saying that I'm regretful for going those directions. I'm saying I'm actually grateful for the fact that those lessons were hard. And those lessons reevaluated my direction and what I'm up to, and put me to the merit of what I'm doing with my life. A simple example of this in the health of it all. I developed a digestive autoimmune condition back in 2007. I was diagnosed. I treated my body poorly. I was in my 20s. I was, drinking too much. I went to the gym often, very often, 6 days a week, and then often I would be there for over 2 hours a day. I was chronically dehydrated, and I was taking a stupid amount of performance supplements, like from, the supplement stores, protein powders, and, energy, pills and stuff like that, because that was bigger back then. Energy drinks weren't anywhere near as big. So yes, I was taking a lot of that garbage, really, but I did not look at it that I was harming my body, and that I could be harming my body. I was in the Superman phase of life where you're like, I'm invincible, right? It's not really, you look at yourself as being invincible as much as it is you just look at yourself as not realizing that things could get worse, or that you could be losing your health, like losing your hearing, right? You usually don't lose your hearing right away, it's over time. Same concepts. So it brought me back to, you need to be more responsible with your health. And then that ignited a reason to learn the way that I was learning, or the way that I have learned. It gave me more reason for a lot of things, to put more different types of effort in, because the lesson was something that, look, I wouldn't choose to go through that if I had the choice back then. But now I'm like, but look at all of the benefits of not having clarity when you go to the doctor, because they can't tell you what's causing it. Right? They just tell you you have the food log, and see what you can do to eliminate things that are causing you problems. But that challenge, which is, it really left me defeated in the beginning. I'm like, what the hell? You deal with this all day with so many different people. I don't understand why you can't give me some sort of insight so that I can better myself. And then it turns out, yeah, it's because it's unique to me, and it's because of the way that I treated my body. And then it made me have to learn and really continue to learn and push beyond and continue to learn. So, yeah. All right. To sum it all up, find a way of being grateful for the challenges that you face. If you do have somebody in your family that's coming with the intent to really cause as much of a problem for the day as possible, and you're aware of it, prefacing that and asking everyone to just be patient as that family member goes through their own phase. Because again, ideologies change like the seasons for a lot of people, viewpoints, and it's just, how long is the season? It doesn't mean it's in a year, it could be a couple of years, but in the greater scheme of life, it's still more representative of a season. It's better to get to know them and take this steel manning approach. Help me understand this. And then as they get emotional about it, bring it back down to, I care. I love you. I'm trying to understand this so that I better understand why you think that I'm the enemy. Instead of getting into the heated debate of politics or whatever that thing is, which is very common. Like right now, it's most likely to be politics. But it could be something else. So give love. Love brings people home. It's just, you got to learn how to give love, when hard times or confrontations there. So I'm not going to tell you that if you don't do it, you've done it wrong, because that's not the way this works for me. The majority of it is, you didn't do it wrong. You just did it the way you did it. Now what do you learn from it? And if you learn from it, you did it right, because you did it to the limitations that you currently have, and you're learning and growing. Makes it even more right. So why not? So don't shut down the opportunities for growth. And if that person shows up as their own angel with a chaotic lesson, well, actually, I'm sorry, because it can't be a chaotic lesson. It's a challenge will either become a lesson or chaos. It's one or the other. It's the same coin, it's a different side. If you choose to learn from the challenge, then it's a lesson. If you choose to avoid the challenge, then it becomes chaos. And chaos goes into Pandora's box, just waiting to come out with a gang of its friends to create all kinds of chaos in your life. So let's not stuff that box full of anything else, all right? If you're not familiar with Pandora's box, go to the video for that. I'll see if I can actually put it on the end of this video. So, all right. Till next time, I'm coming to you with love and gratitude. Chad Everett Brochures, the host of The Maturity Project. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. Let's up the intentions and reduce the chaos by learning from the lessons. And we won't be paving a way to hell. Okay? So share this video with the person in your life that you want to make a meaningful conversation with, and you really want to make a difference. Because if you do want to make a difference in your life, you're not going to do it in your head by yourself. Other people have their support system and their structures for dealing with reality, and you fit in it the way that you taught them to and the way they want you to. If you want to make changes in your life, you really want to do that through enrollment. Otherwise, you'll feel them pull you back to who you were. And changes in your life are not who you were. It's who you're becoming. So you can give them love and gratitude as well, but you also want to enroll them, and that'll make it easier, because they'll be working, or at least aware that you're making changes, and they'll be more open to that, instead of going, why are you acting different? I liked it better when you were a certain way. All right. Let's get up to it. Let's enjoy our day. Let's be thankful. I'm thankful for all of you. I absolutely am. Put a comment in the comment section if you want to throw into the community and acknowledge that. Oh, also for you that sit quietly in these videos and don't respond, I am asking that today you put a comment in the comment section and just say, hey, I got to the end. Thank you so much. Or whatever it is that you got out of it, show the community that you're grateful as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, that's going to help the channel grow. Hit it with the like button too. That'll help it with the algorithm so it gets pushed out to people that haven't come across this yet. And don't forget, I'm doing what I can to have fun while I'm screwing up. Right? I'm not the best at this. There's plenty of people that are so much better than I am. But I'm also putting myself into this so that I mature and develop and grow. And I have you guys working with me on that. So, all right, till next time. Let's get up to something. Let's get up to it together. And let's go enjoy some food, shall we? All right. Till next time. See ya.